Alright, so recently you might have seen that I did a Fortnite Travis Scott inspired Nerf gun Air Jordan 6 from a denim Air Jordan, and I decided I wanted to go ahead and try to do another bleach dye hoodie. So I actually made this hoodie at the same time, as you can see right here. Now this was actually a really easy process to make, and so I figured I'd just share with you guys a video specifically on how to bleach dye a hoodie. Let's go ahead and get into the video. What is going on, guys? Hess here, collectivekicks.com. If you guys would like to shop this week's top sneaker deals that I carry for you guys, check the link in the description. As well as if you guys want to buy a hoodie and all of the instructions and materials that you need to actually go ahead and replicate this process of a bleach dyed hoodie. You know, it's a really simple process, to be honest. It just takes bleach and that's pretty much it. Now, you could do it to a black item like this, or you could do it to colored dyed items as well, because basically the bleach knocks all the color out and turns it white. You also do need some sunlight. That also helps quite a bit. And then you could see as I added a little bit of hits of color on this one, the back doesn't really have as much color because I only did it to one side. But you can choose to add a little bit of color, and my method was really simple, so I'm going to go over all of that with you guys in this video. Anyway, the results came out pretty good in my opinion. I actually really like the way it looks, and it's kind of simple and not too crazy colorful. And the bleach did its work. So really simple instructions on how to replicate this. And if you guys like the video, drop a like on the video. So the very first step that you're gonna need to do is to just dampen the hoodie. Basically just take it out of the package and rinse it in water and then wring it out. That way it's a little bit wet, because that way the bleach actually adheres a little bit better, at least from my experience, to the material. So once you wring out your item, basically you're gonna take rubber bands and surround it around the items. So I laid out the hoodie as flat as I could, and then I just pushed it together and scrunched it up into like a little bit of a circle, and then I put rubber bands all the way around it as many times as I could, as you could see. And that's pretty much the prep that you have to do before you use your bleach. Now I use a glass dish to basically put the bleach in. That way it can just wash it and I don't have to throw anything away, because obviously bleach is pretty corrosive. And also I would recommend wearing gloves, although the bleach can also bleed through that, so be careful of the type of gloves you wear. Then the next step is pretty simple. You can apply the bleach any which way you want. You can use a spray bottle, a toothbrush, whatever really you want to apply the bleach to. Since I was applying the bleach to my sneakers at the same time with a sneaker brush, I just used an old sneaker brush that I had, dipped it in the bleach, and then I just shook it onto the garment, and it basically made just sort of a splatter effect. One thing that I'll note is that the very first time I went through and did this, front and back, I decided to go with 100% bleach. I did not water down the bleach at all. The second thing I'll note is I did this in the sunlight. As you can see in the video, the sunlight really intensified the bleaching process. If you do it in the dark at night, it's not going to work near as well as if you do it in the bright sunlight. You throw it down and it instantly starts bleaching, so it really doesn't take that long to bleach depending on the desired color that you're trying to get. I like the colors that came out on my hoodie, so that's what I ended up going with. But basically but I'd be pretty gentle in applying the bleach, because when you do apply it, it does eat through the material, which is why I took the next step in cutting the bleach in half. So when I cut the bleach in half, there's actually a variance on the hoodie. Some parts are really white, some parts are a little bit more muddied, and it kind of leaves like two tones to the hoodie, which is why I actually like doing it this way. So I did the first round with just bleach, then I did the second round with bleach and water, 50-50 mix, and then you just basically let it out in the sun and let it dry. I elevated mine with like a cookie cooling baking tray thing, and I did it over top of a bus bin. I'll link them in the description as well. I bought both of them from Amazon. Really easy to use, and the bus bins are actually really good. They're the ones that you basically find at restaurants, but they work really well for all my dye projects, and it keeps it in one container. That way I'm not using stuff from the kitchen that we're actually gonna eat off of later. I let it sit out for probably like 40 minutes or so, and then I just considered it good. So that's pretty much it for the bleaching, and if you like the end results, then you can go ahead and finish there. I actually took out rubber bands at this point just so I can get a visual to see what the hoodie looked like. And then I kind of was like, well, I wouldn't mind adding like a little splash of color here and there. And so I could have done this in two ways. The last time I did this, I basically did an ice dye over the entire thing, and it worked okay. But this time I really liked the way just the regular bleach looked on the hoodie. So I wanted to just add little teeny bits of pop on the hoodie. So I honestly, while I was dyeing these sneakers, I just grabbed some of the ice cubes off the top that were melting through that had dye already sprinkled on, and I just placed them on my hoodie in just various spots that had white. And I just let the ice melt with the dye on it. And then as it did that, it left the color patterns that it did on the hoodie. So if you're not familiar with my ice dye videos, I'll link them in the description as well. You can buy the dyes on Amazon, or there's a couple different companies that I like to go through, but I'll link them in the description as well. I sprinkled the powder on top of the ice cubes directly, and then placed the ice cube on top of the hoodie. That way it would have a more minimal effect. And then I could slowly add more to it versus oversaturate it by putting all the ice cubes on top, sprinkling a bunch of dye like I normally do, and then I put way too much dye on, it clumps up and it has a little bit of problems with just having too much color. In this case, it's a lot slower and it works a lot better if you're trying to have a little bit of variation. You can do any colors you want, but I just chose like the yellow, orange, and a little bit of blue from the same that I was using on the sneakers. And then once the ice melts through and you can see the dye on the hoodie, you can flip and do it on the other side. Then you are pretty much done. You need to take your garment now and you wash it. You do need to use a special detergent called Cyprethol, I believe is what it's called. I use that and Tide at the same time. And then I wash it, and you have to wash it on hot. You can't wash it on cold. You really need to get that bleach out of the material. And then throw it in the dryer on hot as well, and it sets the dye, and it's 100% good to go. It doesn't bleed or anything like that. That's one thing I really like about this dye stuff. It just doesn't bleed if you use the right type. But that's pretty much it. That's results of the hoodie. You could do it to t-shirts, obviously, and other things as well. And I always love to see you guys tag me on Instagram or Twitter of you guys' projects that you guys have actually done yourself with your kids or your family or yourself. It's always fun to see. I mean, honestly, I'm not the one that came up with this type of thing, but I like to be able to create one-of-one stuff for myself. And what better way to do it than when I find Nike or Adidas hoodies on sale? I tweet you guys the sales usually when they go live anyway, and then I buy my own from those sales, and then I make it a one-of-one instead of just having an all black or an all white hoodie. It's just fun to be able to put a little bit of a twist to it. So yeah, if you like this, drop a like and let me know. And if you want to see different versions or different colors of bleach dyed hoodies, drop a comment and let me know as well. Anyways, drop a like on the video if you liked the video. I personally really like the results, and it's something that I had a lot of fun doing, and I got a lot of positive feedback on Instagram and Twitter, so I figured I'd just go ahead and do the video for you guys on YouTube as well. Yeah, if you guys, again, are interested in any of the products to be able to do your own, I'll link it in the description. Anyways, hopefully you guys are staying safe out there. Thank you guys for stopping by and watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Have a good rest of the day, and we'll see you guys for some more sneaker videos very soon. Peace, guys.